Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg, and listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are so thrilled to have in the studio with us today Aaron Adamson. He is the founder and CEO of PPC, Profit Pros. How you doing, Aaron?
Couldn't be better. Nice to be here.
Thanks for coming in. Joined as, I shouldn't say as always, but getting to be as always by my co-host, Kristen Fogel. Kristen is the executive director of San Diego Writers, Inc. If you want to get involved in writing memoirs, biographies, everything, you're going to be involved with Kristen's organization celebrating your 20th anniversary next year, right?
Yeah, true story.
Yeah, don't you have isn't there an event coming up? Jilly Bean Hall was telling me about it recently. Isn't there something coming up?
We have a few events coming up, yeah. We have an authors and artists event that she's probably referring to at the end of October, which is part of our Fall for Writing conference. So that's a really good time for people that don't know us to take a free or a low-cost writing session.
Very good. Kristen's been a guest on my show for a while. She said, I think I can do what you can do. I said, I guarantee you can do what I can do. I know you have a question for Aaron.
Yeah, I just wanted to get into the mission of your organization.
Sure. So PPC Profit Pros, we're an agency, and we're focused on maximizing the profit of companies through pay-per-click marketing. We use what I've created is called the Profit Max system. And that's a mix of the top AI technologies, exclusive access to one in particular, and advanced strategies that I've put together across the last 20 years of my marketing career. Really working with some of the biggest brands in the world before opening my agency in 2020, working with Volkswagen, Microsoft, TD Bank, GlaxoSmithKline, Procter & Gamble, Tourism New Zealand, and so on.
So lots of big names. That's amazing. So can we boil it down for those of us that are not as tech savvy? Maybe can you talk to me about pay-per-click and what this means and, a little bit about why it's important?
Sure. So pay-per-click marketing, if you've ever done a search on Google.
Which I have. Thank you.
And Google's the most used website in the world, so not surprised.
Yeah.
Right.
And 91% of the world's searches with Google, you're going to see ads at the top.
Yes.
They look like little text boxes. Mm-hmm. And those are pay-per-click ads. Simply put, the advertiser pays every time somebody clicks on those ads.
Got it.
And then below those are the free listings, the organic listings. So we focus on the top there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
How do you focus on it? What do you do?
So we basically have we put together and figure out what keywords people are using when they're searching for the products and services that my clients are offering the world, and that's why search ads are so powerful because and we focus on there's two kind of flavors of pay-per-click marketing. Mm-hmm. There's search pay-per-click and there's social pay-per-click. So in the social realm, you've got really people that are more or less browsing, and in the pay-per-click realm in search, people are actually searching with keywords. They're trying to conjure out of the universe the things that
something
they
specific
want. Yes, they want right now.
Right.
So that's serious power, and the vast majority of people find what they want to buy by searching for it, and to like I said, 93% of the search traffic is in Google, and in fact, there's 8.5 billion searches every month.
Wow!
And another interesting fact is that 91% of brands don't have any presence in the free listings below those pay-per-click ads. So that makes those ads extremely coveted. You got to do a really good job marketing brands in that space.
So how hard is it to get companies to understand this relatively new way of marketing, correct?
Well,
I mean, new, and this wasn't going on in 1870, by the way. So, not that I'm aware of.
That we know of, yes. I mean,
Yeah,
we have to
that we
look at
know
the
of.
records.
I know, right, exactly.
It's really not hard in a sense. It's interesting because search pay-per-click has kind of been around the longest in a way, and the social medias have grown up around them, and they're getting the sexy attention, the TikToks and the Snapchats and that sort of thing. But people are still browsing around in those spaces, those social spaces. It's really kind of hard to get brands to go, you know what? Search PPC may be something old, and you might see it as old and tired, but it is the way and the most profitable way that you're going to get your stuff sold.
Right. Now, were you always interested in marketing? Did you go to school for marketing, or you were a forensic scientist and said, I want to get into something else? Maybe you were a forensic scientist.
Maybe.
When I was a kid, I had the biggest newspaper route in my town. So and I
Well, where was that?
I'm Canadian, so this was in Toronto area.
The Star or the Globe?
The Toronto Star, yeah.
Okay, beautiful. Yeah, my mom was a Canuck. Passed away several years ago from Regina, Saskatchewan.
Okay, the prairies.
Exactly. It still said oot and a boot, even though she came to United States in '38. I love the Canucks are the best. You guys, is your family still from Toronto?
Yes, yeah. I've just been here 8 years.
Is that, yeah. T.O. is great. So you delivered the Star. Okay, very good.
Yes.
And that's how you got fascinated by this.
Well, I got very good at signing people up between 9 and 14.
Did they pay?
They used to take me to subdivisions and drop me in and create routes for kids.
Did you go to Scarborough? Is that one of them?
Markham. I grew up in Markham.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Very, 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 very good. So that got you interested in this, right? And
then I did a Bachelor of Science in Perceptual and Neurophysiological Psychology. And
I figured that, didn't you? I thought that's what he would do, didn't you think?
Yeah, we should do a mind reading segment, you and I, what people did before.
Exactly. I'd be so
Maybe
far
not.
off on that. So does it sort of tie together a little bit?
it does. I know it sounds really
No, it
convoluted and strange, but to study the scientific study of human behavior,
Right.
is fascinating and hugely helpful in marketing. But marketing is very mathematical these days. It's digital. So, and science is using data. So what I do is half data, is half understanding and putting data together and seeing what the story that data is telling us is. And and that's really kind of how my marketing career started.
Yeah, when you talk to folks about, what makes them successful and whatever it is, it's because I follow data-driven things. I actually look at the data, for God's sake, and didn't think this thing came from some Ouija board or whatever the case may be. Data actually means stuff, does it not?
It does, and sometimes interesting science hypotheses sometimes are kind of the stuff of Ouija boards.
Right.
Because you're coming up with this stuff from the universe saying, I think the universe works this way or works that way.
Right.
And I was saying, our opinions or hypotheses are, while interesting to us, are irrelevant. What matters is the data coming that the market is telling us. What do they want?
100%. And those marketers who understand that, but I worked for the newspaper for many, many years. I'm not sure if you knew that. And I look back in the day, we would sit there and go, in my area was in marketing and public relations, and all of a sudden we see a change to why are they doing this now, feature in the current section? Well, the editor was in the frozen food section and was talking to 3 people, and they liked the peas, and that's what we're doing. So he changed what we're doing in our feature section because somebody, is that not true or not?
Boots on the ground.
100%. 100%. I go, is there any data behind that? Well, we're going to find out. Okay, that's fine. We're chatting with Aaron Adamson, who's the founder and CEO of PPC Profit Pros. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest running community podcast, now in our 17th year. We are broadcasting from the Mission Fed studios in Scripps Ranch in Mission Fed, doing wonderful things in San Diego, continuing for 60 years. Joined by terrific co-host Kristen Fogel, Executive Director of San Diego Writers, Inc., I still want to stay on this topic of, the data and so forth. How much is this evolving, this whole field that you're in, and especially when you bring in AI?
It's a great question, Drew. It's amazing, and it's been evolving into AI longer than people think in certain ways. Like, I work with a software called Sky for the last 12 years, and it used to be called Kenshu. And I brought it in when I was at a company called Flight Network in Canada to test it against a software called Marin that this company was using. Basically, these technologies sit on top of the bidding systems of, say, Google pay-per-click. Right. They have their own bidding systems, and a lot of people rely on that and don't realize there's any other way to do it. But it's kind of like their bidding systems tend to make Google more money. And so these other bidding systems that help bid these ads into position, they're like a watchdog layer on top of it and wrestle the Google's bids into submission for, if you do it right, for profit maximization for your client. So I actually made a partnership with Sky. I used to use it with some of the biggest brands in the world they're the ones that could access it. They have a very high barrier to entry. So I made a partnership. I'm on the client advisory board with Sky, and so I've got to be quite connected. And when I made PPC Profit Pros, I decided I would only do it if I had Sky in my back pocket for small and medium-sized companies to give them an unfair profit maximization advantage.
I think that's great. When we come back from break, we're going to continue the conversation with Aaron Adamson, founder and CEO of PPC Profit Pros. I know Kristen has some questions for you on maybe some of the challenges that are going to be faced moving forward. I know you have a very cool health care client testimonial. I want to hear from that. And we always save some time at the end, Aaron, for what our listeners can do to help support your efforts. So if that sounds good to you, we'll be right back.
Sounds good. Thanks.
And we'll be right back after this break.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you're listening to another edition of the Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are now the nation's longest-running community podcast in our 17th year, broadcast here in the Mission Fed studio in Scripps Ranch at Mission Fed. As many of our folks in San Diego County know, been doing great things for more than 60 years. We are back with Aaron Adamson, founder and CEO of PPC Profit Pros. I'm joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel, the executive director of San Diego Writers Inc. Kristen?
Yeah, thanks so much, Drew. Let's talk about that story, this healthcare client where your technology really helped them out. I'd love to hear about it.
Sure. So their name is Compass Behavioral Health.
Okay.
And they are experts in what is called DBT, or dialectic behavior therapy, which is being considered as the most efficacious therapy for helping teens that are at risk of committing suicide. And so she was interested in having PPC Profit Pros help her to get the message out across the country to the families of these teens that are in trouble.
Right.
And obviously do so profitably. to help her grow her business. And we've been able to do that. And I was just on a call with her the other day, and she said that the decision to hire PPC Profit Pros was the best decision she's made so far this year. So that was wonderful to hear.
Well, that's chilling and heartwarming, and we all know that it's at probably crisis area here, not just with kids. Military is seeing just a huge spike in suicides. Matter of fact, we had a major general on the show not too long ago that works with an organization. Their goal is to reduce military suicides by 50% in about 5 years. Offline, I might give you his name, and I bet they could probably benefit from you. That was a stellar interview in that area. When you see those testimonials and so forth, obviously very, very heartwarming. Is there a certain client that is more amenable to what the concept you're bringing in? Do they have to know anything about digital marketing, or you can just take a rube like me who barely knows how 2 tin cans and a string work to focus on this? And really, you can use the word rube when you talk about me.
Really, if companies have people that are searching for their services in decent numbers or their products, we can help them, and often what we'll do is we'll put together a projection for them, a profit projection, and very detailed spreadsheet that we've developed, and they love it. We ask a few questions and learn a bit about their particular business, and then we plug it into our modeling.
Right.
And we show them, and sometimes we go, this isn't actually going to work for you, and I'm sorry, we can't help you.
Right.
But lots of the time, most of the time, people are looking for those services and products, and we plug it in, and the numbers look usually quite good.
Well, obviously, with your success rate on it, and good for you for saying that. It does sometimes things just don't fit.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely on it. Chris, another question you have for Aaron?
Yeah, kind of riffing off something you said, though, I think that you've been talking about kind of these medium to large companies, but like I run a small organization. It seems like PPC would, be something that even smaller organizations can use. Can, smaller organizations use your services, or are there resources for them to learn more about how that benefits them?
Yeah, so there's a certain threshold of size of business that you sort of have to meet. There's a bar with our services because we're using AI software technology, and there's a data sufficiency test that we sometimes need to do if it's a little small, to make sure that because we're making decisions at the keyword level and extrapolating to all the keywords and on profit maximization. There needs to be enough volume of data.
Got it.
Typically, we find that happens around 5,000 to 10,000 at the low end of spend per month. On the media.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Good to know.
Another interesting thing too.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Sorry, is that on average, for every $1 spent in PPC, $2 comes back to the advertiser.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, listen, with that return on investment, not quite sure anyone wouldn't want to do this, to say the least, in this area. How much do you focus on companies that are in countries in the Middle East, or in the far West, in the Far East, or is it pretty much here?
Well, since, I'm from Canada and now live in the States, it's been more focused on North America.
Right.
But absolutely.
Mexico, you work in Mexico?
Haven't had any opportunity yet.
Okay, yeah.
We have a global license for the software that we leverage.
Yeah.
So there's really nothing holding us back from working in other countries of the world.
Yeah. It seems to me, obviously, you know this better than anybody, and these markets have been opening up for a while now, and of course, people are taking advantage of, as they should, whether it's, China or, Singapore. I mean, pick a topic on this thing. It must be a pretty rich audience out there when you guys are ready to do that.
It can be, yeah.
What would be the drawback? Language?
Language is, yeah. I mean, we need to, and we can do that. We can hire specialists.
Right.
It's it's very interesting. This market nowadays. You can pull from different countries and get specialists in PPC marketing that speak the language that you need.
Right.
And you can do so quite easily. So there's huge opportunity. The world is really shrinking. It's marvelous.
And it seems to me, I remember at the UT, we were, delving into some type of new type of technology, and sometimes the United States thinks it's ahead of the game, and you find out you're about number 25 in the world over here. I mean, and I know you're smiling because it's so true, right? And, when it came with cell phone usage and we were first starting to use it, and we were so far behind, folks like China and those back, and we're just like leap years. We had about 3 decades to catch to their minimum. Maybe it's part of our, hubris, which we lead the world in hubris, I think. This country does. I could be wrong on that. But it would seem to me that, your opportunities would just be huge in these other areas.
It's really limitless. It's borderless,
exactly.
And it's phenomenal. Really, the mechanisms of what I do work everywhere because global, like Google, for instance, is ubiquitous. People are searching. What's really changed over the years is obviously the move to the phone. I mentioned,
right.
And 50-60% of the searches and the websites people are looking at, they're doing so on their phone, and that's made people have to approach the art and science of how they put themselves online. They have to think about themselves on a small screen. How's this going to come across?
Right. Well, it's fascinating you bring about the phone. We had a guest on here that called Learning Upgrade. I'm not sure if you were a co-host at the time on this, Kristen.
No, those were in the before times.
This was BK before Kristen.
Yep.
Okay, and she makes me say that all the time. Drew, remember, you didn't have a show before I got involved. But this guy is a genius. God, this guy is really so smart, and they have found a way to use the phone. With those classes that, because a lot of people have phones now, that can raise reading levels by the activities they did only through the phone by like 3 grade levels in a year. And it was fascinating.
Wow.
Learning Upgrade, if you have a chance to Google them. And it was, they've been doing this stuff for, a while. But you talk about the phone because that's everything is going to this computer that we have in our hands all the time.
Exactly. Yeah.
And is there anything holding back the phone because they're not powerful enough now, or the technology in the phone is getting up to this?
Oh, it's more than capable.
Right.
My 14-year-old son explains to me just how capable it is, and he makes sure my tech is up to date, and it's there's more power than we need in that thing now.
Exactly. Yeah, my 29-year-old looks at me with disdain and goes, "Really? Why don't you just go back to the rotary phone?" All of our listeners are going, they're Googling rotary right now.
What is that?
I'm not sure if Isabel knows what that is. She's sitting in us, a stem cell expert, listening to this interview. Kristen always likes to ask a question about our listeners and what we can do, right?
Yeah, what can the listeners do to support your efforts or learn more about you? Talk to us about that.
So if people are curious if pay-per-click marketing is right for them, if it could be profitable for them, they can we're happy to take a free call. Just go to ppcprofitpros.com, upper right corner, book a call. There's a button there.
Great.
And take you a few seconds to put in your email and name and phone number. Then we'll hop on a video call. We'll show them a projection even from somebody else, and if that looks interesting, we'll get some of their custom information and we'll show them what their situation looks like.
Excellent.
I'd love to do this, and it's something that we just thrive on our Spotlight show, and that is learn about the company like we've done today. But we'd love to have you bring in a client, and maybe the one you did in Orange County, that have benefited from what you've done. And there's twofold on that. One, they made some money, which is why they're in business, but look at what they've done with the teen suicides and this aspect of it. I'm not saying we have to do them, but if you think there's someone that would love to come on, that one is obviously something that would be very interesting to our listeners. We'd love to have you come back.
Drew, I love the idea, and I'll definitely ask the woman that runs that.
Fantastic.
And I I think that's a lovely idea.
Yeah, wonderful. We just would love her to come in studio if she could, but it's not that far of a drive. So
no,
yeah,
exactly.
If we'll tee off online on that, and I'd love to have that. Aaron Adamson, what an absolute honor chatting with you. We're going to look forward to having you come back for a return appearance.
I'm honored. Thank you.
Very
nice
good
to be here.
You bet. Aaron Adamson, the founder and CEO of PPC Profit Pros. I'm Drew Schlosberg, joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel, as you listen to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest-running community podcast, now in our 17th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, doing great things for San Diegans for more than 60 years. You enjoyed the show.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.